Think of all that time. Every wait in the winter. All those hours no one else saw. Every sprint in the summer. Think of every sacrifice. Early mornings on the levee. Late nights in the film room. Bus rides to playoff games. Every bump in the road. Every moment of ecstasy. Every moment of doubt. Years wondering. Is it all worth it? It's all led to this. Man, I got this. It's a 60-minute drive for a 60-minute game. After all the miles we've traveled, we're almost there. After all the hours we've worked, one more can make us legends. After all that time, this is our time.
Seems like no nonsense guy. Like
re-emphasize that for the Saints fans out there on TikTok. Caveman, what did you just say?
The rebuild starts right now. Marshawn Lattimore's gone, so the defense, like we're not getting any better.
Looking to get into Smith. What a pass! Not Dave! Wardell Smith with the game winner! Oh my goodness!
And that is why you have Aaron Fry pass the ball in.
A career year. And like you have you have the best quarterback in the league, arguably, the best wide receiver in the league, and you've got the best edge rusher in terms of total sacks this season. And you're 4-7, and your playoff chances are hanging on by it. Let's make it interesting.
We're making it interesting. Come on. Give us the freaking one. We'll take it.
Oh, no!
Oh, no.
Put him in there.
This knocked the
Put him in
elbow.
there.
Who the heck is that guy?
Deflected good, help defense from the Warriors. Oh, what a pass! And Kuminga throws it down! This could be the pass of the year so far. You might watch every game the rest of the season in the NBA.
Mr. Announcer guy. So don't you go saying that you're never going to see that.
You're such a hater.
You are looking live at Till the Final Whistle on Military Broadcast Radio. HG and Caveman in the building. H-Train on the sound. We got a good action-packed morning. Had the NFL draft just pass. Finishing up a few of these first-round matchups in the NBA and NHL playoffs. And we also are reaching the midway point of the UFL season. We just had week 5.
Halfway
Already
through.
Going through. Now let's open it up with the UFL.
Another good week of football here for the spring league.
It definitely was. It's been entertaining this year for sure.
And we'll start on Friday night because we got our very first taste of the new overtime rules that I had honestly forgotten even gone into effect. But it's the best of 3 2-point attempt shootout.
Oh yeah,
is what they
is,
call
yeah.
it. So if you look at the quarter by quarter scoring of this, you'll notice in overtime Memphis scored 4 points to Birmingham 0. And you're like, well, how does that happen? Well, Memphis converted 2 out of their 3 2-point conversions. Birmingham got 0.
So it's just best 2 out of 3. If they failed that second attempt, then Birmingham got another chance. That actually makes sense. That's
Got a
kinda
chance to get
interesting.
it. And then I think I believe they said they're tied at the end of that. You just go till someone gets a stop.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's the first taste of that new OT rule there. I kind of like that, though. It's different from college, different from the NFL. Kind of using their own way.
Stop some games from running on super long, too, especially. So, well, going back to this one, good start here by the Showboats. In the first quarter, getting out to a 11-point lead.
Yeah, they just let it
Touchdown
come
and a
back.
field goal, and then they had another field goal there in the second, and they were, holding a pretty steady lead, but they gave up a late push here by the Stallions, who ended up scoring a touchdown with 25 seconds left and converting to tie this game up. And shockingly, the Showboats were able to get it in the field goal range on a pretty ballsy pass attempt here. Just weren't able to convert the field goal. Took us to overtime, but they got it done in OT. Dresser Wynn getting the start here for the Showboats. So it looks like they're going on a new direction here at quarterback. Pretty good game for him, 17 to 29, 235 and a touchdown. Case Cook has got the start for the Stallions today. Normal quarterback was injured. Wasn't good to go. Solid game from Cookus. Another 10 yards, 2 touchdowns. Did have a pretty costly turnover, though. That really took the momentum out of a good drive. But he did make up for it with 83 yards on the ground there.
Their leading rusher there had a long of 30. That's kind of been the Stallions, like this bullet in the foot for them. They have no real running game, it feels like. They have not really been able to figure that out. And the last season we saw it was a lot of just teams running the football, getting their offenses figured out that way.
You look at last year, they got good backs. Ricky Person Jr., CJ Marbler were both very good backs last year. Just hasn't been the same. Offensive line, certainly not as good as it was last year. You can see that. There just isn't that same push, that same control at the line of scrimmage. Despite that, the Stallions are still 3-2.
Not in a bad place.
Yeah. Memphis finally getting their first win of the season. Dresser Wynn, man. Maybe he's the
It might be the answer. He had a pretty solid game. I'll give it to him.
way of the future there for them there. D. Anderson, really good game. That was his number one target. The 4 catches for 93 yards. Kwamity Lassiter. Isaiah Washington also had some solid games. So he was getting some guys involved. Opened up the run game slightly. Like the leading rusher only had 60 yards, but was still one of the better rushing performances by the Showboats this year,
this
which
is like the best game they've had all year.
will tell you a lot. And ultimately, they ended up getting it done in overtime for a 24-20 win. Well, Caveman.
Dude, this game right here, this next one was an absolute battle. This game was pretty good there
between
until the end, dude.
The Battle Hawks and the Michigan Panthers.
This one was fire.
I come away with bragging rights this week. 32-27 victory here for the Battle Hawks. Back and forth game. Both teams going up and down the field. And that wasn't to say there weren't some good defensive plays, a couple of big sacks. Michigan had forced a turnover that was huge. Rodrigo Blankenship, the GOAT, had some big kicks in that one too. It's good to see him back out there.
I didn't even realize how little passing offense you guys used in this game. 12 attempts from Duggan and 1 from Jackson. That's insane.
Learned our lesson from last week and was like, yeah, let's just not let Max Duggan sit back there and have to throw it too much.
12 passes, but 124 yards still for Butler, dude. Oh my God.
Little trick play here with Blake Jackson there too.
That one was sick.
Right. That was you had to get creative when your offense was struggling, and it was brutal last week. So good on the Battlehawks coach getting creative here and finding some different ways to move the football and put up some points here in this one. And they had to put up a lot because the Panthers weren't really getting slowed down all too much. There wasn't a ton of offense from them in the first half, but the second half, they got it going. 3 straight touchdown drives, forced the Battlehawks to kind of wake up, but they did answer with 2 touchdown drives of their own, and then a defensive stop where the Panthers turned the ball over on downs, and the Battlehawks were able to run out the clock.
Bryce, though, man, he's killing it. Bryce Perkins. Dude has easily become my favorite UFL quarterback, not just because he's on the Panthers. Because the way that they run this offense is kind of just letting him be in the driver's seat the whole entire time. They do a lot of read option with him, and I swear it doesn't really look like it should be a read option half the time. It looks like they're just calling an inside zone run, and he just is like, "Yeah, man, I'm keeping it, and I'm gone." Like the amount of design runs they give him too. Like they really just let him have fun out there. And this game kind of showed it too. only 14 rushing yards, but 21 for 25, dude.
He's super
235 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I was saying Battlehawks needed Hakeem Butler back, and he comes back. Listen to this stat line: 2 catches, 124 yards, 2 touchdowns. Yeah. Good to have him back.
That's all he needed. That is big, though, for the Battlehawks. That was clearly a big piece that was missing from the offense.
Hopefully, Manny Wilkins can get healthy soon, or at least we can figure out ways to keep Max Duggan from having to do too much out there. Just keep the offense simplified for him. But a very impressive win here in the Battle Dome. Samson Nakua got himself into some trouble slapping a fan.
Oh my, yeah. I don't know if this was during the game or not. John was somebody on the sideline in these UFL stadiums. It was a little bit, the fans are pretty close. He's close enough to reach out and slap this guy across the face and just walk off after the game.
So he got suspended for that. I believe it was 3 games, 2 games, something like that.
Man,
he's not going to miss a ton of the season, but he's still going to be out for some time. Another really high-scoring affair here between the Defenders and Renegades, and we kind of saw this one coming last week. It wasn't like there was a lack of defense. It was just a crazy game in general. Each team forcing 2 turnovers, both teams scoring 33 or more.
Yeah, it was just
Defenders take this one 37-33. Man, where do we even start here? The QB battle here was just something special. Te'amu and Perez were both slinging the rock. Te'amu, again, dude, just the most unethical passer though. Like the 308 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. So you're like, solid stats, but he does this on 50% completion percentage.
Yeah, he's just slinging it, dude.
All right.
He's just chucking.
It kind of, in my mind, it just doesn't make a ton of sense because if you're throwing that many incompletions, I mean, I'm seeing it work, but like as a someone that's been watching football for years, like it just doesn't make sense to me like that.
Yeah.
You can throw this many incompletions and still put up the amount of yards and points that they do. Like that just is a lot of wasted downs in my mind, but
it feels like it is. And then they mess around and score 37 points and win the game. Right. It's just crazy. They barely even ran the ball.
Especially like he's a 50% completion percentage with basically 0 run game. He was the leading rusher.
Yeah. All they
with
did
37 yards and a touchdown. So 4 total TDs for Te'amu. He's been balling out. I believe the Defenders were 7th in the power rankings, preseason power rankings to start the year. And right now they
jumped up to it.
They look by far like the best team
Just started the
in the
season in
league.
stride, really.
Yeah. The emergence of Cornell Powell, man. Hadn't really heard of this dude before. Hadn't gotten involved a ton in their previous games, but leading receiver in this one, 89 yards and a touchdown. Braylon Sanders, also with 81 yards and a touch. Chris Rowland, they were just trying to get the ball in his hands by any means necessary. And I like that. He's got, for a small guy, dude, he's got that game-breaking speed.
He's really quick. He is really quick.
Got on him 7 catches, 61 yards, and a touchdown. The Renegades side of the ball, Deontay Burnett with the lone receiving touchdown there, 78 yards. But Tyler Vaughn's, Isaiah Winstead also contributing plenty of yards. The Renegades had a bit more of a rushing attack here. Kalen Balaj did put up 79 yards and a touchdown on the ground, 108 total yards on the ground for the Renegades. Now over here on the defensive side of the ball, we had some pretty impressive performances from Anthony Hines, Kelvin Joseph. I mean, those guys felt like they were all over the field. I mean, but you look at that between the two of them, 19 total tackles.
Yeah.
Hines picking up a sack and a TFL as well. Joseph back there in the secondary, but still coming down for a TFL and one pass breakup. And all 8 of his tackles were solo tackles, which I thought was really impressive. And I think a big thing in this game was the defenders were just able to generate some more pressure, and that really helped them down the stretch, especially.
And that just caused a lot of pass breakups too.
5 total sacks. Andre Mincy and Derek Robertson with each a sack and a half. Those guys were, and even then they were still getting a lot of pressure out, besides the 3 total sacks they had between the two of them.
Yeah, 5 sacks, 5 tackles for loss. You got 6 pass breakups, the pick, and the forced fumble that got recovered. It was really this whole defense was filling up the stat.
Right. For a team that gave up 33 points.
It looks like they filled up the stat sheet.
They really played really well on defense. Got to be one of the best defensive performances from a team that gave up 33 that I've seen in a while. Which, I mean, it just makes you think like how many points the defenders would have had to score had their defense not played like this.
Yeah, this may have been like a 50-55 final score.
Very well could have. And the Renegades, they got off to a strong start, but the end of that game, I mean, like the offense was humming there in the first half. Second half, that's the defenders really changed the tone of this game, right? You look at the end of these first half drives: touchdown, field goal, touchdown. Only 1 punt in the whole first half. And then you get to the second half: punt, field goal, fumble, punt, interception. Tough sledding down towards the end of that game. And then you look on the other side, the defenders started the game with a punt, missed field goal, punt. Then they go 2 touchdowns and a field goal to get themselves back in this one, get it a little closer before halftime. Come out, opening drive after forcing a punt, go score a touchdown. Then they go punt, fumble, touchdown, interception, touchdown, end the game.
Jeez.
Like, it's just waves, man, highs and lows, mountains and valleys, all over the place during this one.
Yeah, that's tough.
It was an action-packed game.
Kind of shows when the defenders' defense kind of started to lock in a little bit too. That second half, that defense of the defenders was really controlling factor of that game.
Yeah. This one, a lot of fun to watch. And our last game here before we head to our first music break of the day. Not a lot to really dive into here. Brahmas just kind of got whooped.
27-3, boys.
Blanked. 27-3. They managed to put together a somewhat respectable drive. I wouldn't even really say it was all that respectable. They got it. I mean, their defense forced an interception, and they were able to kick a field goal off of that after going for 4 plays and 7 yards.
That was their momentum swing after getting the pick.
Yeah.
It was 4-play drive that led to a field goal.
This game just got so boring after halftime, and it wasn't all too interesting before halftime. Just the Roughnecks kind of steadily controlling this. They go field goal, touchdown, right coming right out of halftime, and then after that, that field goal off the interception was all the scoring we got the rest of the game. A couple of interceptions, turnovers on downs. Just looked really bad.
Yeah, rough game from them.
Out of the Brahmas.
Rough game.
I mean, you look at they couldn't do anything. 41 passing yards as a team.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
San Antonio got dominated. 35 from Kellen Mond, 29 out of Garatino. And then you take away the sack yardage, that only comes out to 41 yards. So Anthony McFarland had more rushing yards than either quarterback that came in the game had passing yards.
That's terrible. And they're both thrown under the percentage of Te'amu.
Yeah. And you think like, maybe there were really some big numbers put up by someone on the Roughnecks side. I mean, not really.
Not
4
really
sacks. Wasn't like it was a crazy sack game. Wasn't like they shredded on offense. I mean, 171 yards from Jalen McClellan. He didn't even have any touchdowns. And then he threw a pick. Like the Roughnecks just kind of got, they just were playing San Antonio, having one of their worst games of the season. Wasn't even a very impressive performance by the Roughnecks. Just San Antonio was so awful in this one.
Yeah, they were getting it was a rough showing from them. Rough showing.
Really rough. All right, well, one look at the standings before we go to break here. So in the XFL conference, the Defenders in the lead at 4-1, but we got the Renegades and Battlehawks both hot on their tails at 3-2, and the Brahmas, I'm about ready to call it for them this season. The runners up last year, I don't think they're gonna. I don't even know if they have a shot at the playoffs. They have to be close to being eliminated already at 1-4 at the bottom of their division. And then in the USFL conference, we got a 2-way tie right now. Stallions just by a head-to-head.
Yeah, they got us on that game.
Are in the lead over the Panthers, both 3-2. Roughnecks at 2-3, and the Showboats showing some signs of life. So I'm not ready to write them off just yet, like I am with the Brahmas. Down there at 1-4 though for both of those teams. So a lot of work to do as we hit the halfway point of the season. That's going to do it for our first segment on the show. We're going to do a quick music break with some amazing veteran artists. When we come back, NHL Stanley Cup playoff race is heating up. The first round action is starting to come to a close. Who's clinching? Who's moving on? What series are tight as nails? Come back and find out here on Till the Final Whistle on Military Broadcast Radio.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
And you are looking live at Till the Final Whistle. HG and Caveman back in the house. H-Train, you're killing it on the sound today. He thought he was about to be late at the end of that break. That was perfect timing. There was no hiccups right there. We're back in. That was smooth, seamless transition.
Did you say perfect timing? What are we, a 5th-round quarterback draft pick?
Should have been the 9th overall pick.
What are we, Sanders?
We're gonna talk about that later.
We'll get
because I'm already gonna get fired up. NHL player.
Right, we got to give hockey its dues because, man, dude, these games have been insane. Like a lot of overtime. These lower seeds, man, are putting up some fights here too. It's been good, especially in the West, dude. All of these West matchups are razor tight.
3-2,
razor thin margin.
3-2. Everything's 3-2 right now, except for the Jets Blues is all tied up, which is the one series that I really didn't think would be here right now.
So we do the show on last Wednesday. We're like, the Jets up to a good 2-0 start. Their defense is looking good. The Blues just look a little overmatched. Winnipeg looks like they're on their way to win this one. We're like, give St. Louis one at home, right? I think they're still a good team. They'll take one at home, but Jets in 5. And then we come back. Here we are. The last 2 games they've lost. The Blues have beaten and outscored the Jets by a score of 12-3 over the last 2 games.
Game 3, first one in St. Louis was 7-2. Game 4, 5-1. That game 3,
Blues been putting
right
some belt to ass.
3 unanswered goals in the first period, and they finish it off. Third period, you're like, all right, Winnipeg's got 2 scores. Are they back in it? No. St. Louis gets the final 4 goals that they scored. The final 4 is 7, all in the third period of this game to really finish it off. And it's all mixed around.
I'm like, I thought we had a little momentum maybe coming back here for the Jets. Nah.
Nope.
Closed the door, slammed it shut on that. And you want to talk about big problem. Look at power play opportunities. Double that of Winnipeg's. 8 power play opportunities.
Yeah, that's
3 goals off of the power play there. So honestly, hey, impressive defense all in all. The 3 of 8 margin ain't too bad, but you're really putting yourself and your goalie in a tough situation when you're giving the other team 8 power plays, 40 penalty minutes, 40.
Oh my god! Oh my god! And they actually won it on giveaways. It's honestly just because St. Louis had control of the puck so much in this game. Like they're bound to turn it over more. They had it so much.
Weren't a lot of opportunities to turn the puck over. You just didn't have it. Right. Yeah, it got so bad that they took Connor Hellebuck out there and moved Eric Cormier in there. That was crazy. Seeing Hellebuck getting taken out of the game. I mean, you're giving up 6 goals on 25 attempts or 25 shots. Yeah, we're probably gonna have to make a change.
This really changes my opinion on what can happen if Winnipeg.
Dude,
they still might make it out of the series, but looking at these 2 games, like what's going to happen if they got to play Dallas?
Right. Even like the Avalanche.
Even for my Avs,
dude. This was a masterclass game from Pavel Buchnevich. Man, he was cooking.
I do want to let you guys know real quick, not to interrupt or anything, but we have a TikTok agent now. His name is Sergeant Ham, and he is you guys got a following right now on TikTok, so just giving you a heads up. So that's thanks to Sergeant Ham.
Appreciate
shout out Sergeant Ham.
Appreciate the help.
Appreciate you.
Everyone checking in right now. We're talking some NHL playoffs. We're going Jets Blues series right now, talking about game 3. But yeah, good, insane performance from I think it's Buchnevich.
Buchnevich, yeah.
He was killing it though.
Pavel, we'll
3
call him
goals.
Pavel. 3 goals, yeah, the assist, 5 total shots. Bro was all over the ice, man. I mean, the whole team was though. It was a lot of people were getting in on the action. You had multiple guys. You had Robert Thomas. He had 4 assists in this one, so he was just setting everybody up. And then Bennington didn't have to defend a whole lot. 17 and 19 on saves from shots on goal.
Game 4 was a little different. Where Winnipeg had 31 shots and he saved 30 of them. The final score being 5-1. So an insane performance there. He took the night off game 3, but he didn't slack at all the next day. I mean, let all those shots. He pretty much got attacked in this one. They had face-off percentage in this one. Let me check the rest of the team stats here. But it was really just that second period for St. Louis. Just kept the lead going, kept the momentum up.
Yeah. I think Winnipeg, they seemed a lot more aggressive and on the attack in this one, and it just still didn't make a difference. They just seemed, again, to get overwhelmed by St. Louis. We were talking about it, though. They were a team that were catching some heat at the end of the year. They went on I forget, was it 12, 14 win streak, something like that?
Let me check.
Something crazy here to end off the year. Like they had a nice win streak, and then they finished good final 4-game stretch there as well. Like they were not a team to be slept on.
12-game win streak to end the season, and then their last 4 after the 12, they were 1-3. But I mean, it doesn't really matter here. I mean, they're rallied back and tied up the series against the 1 seed.
I mean, now if you're Winnipeg, I mean, you're kind of starting to think does Hellebuck got to sit these next few games?
Possibly.
Giving up 12 goals he gave up 11. Cormier gave up, or Cormray gave up. He gave up 1 in that 7-2 trouncing. But 11 goals, man, in 2 games out of an all-star caliber goalie. I mean, sometimes you just got to make a move and just go on. But these Blues, man,
they're on a little bit of a run.
I don't know if I want to say that Winnipeg still doesn't win this. I mean, they were the best team in the regular season, but I don't have a ton of confidence in them to close this out anymore. I mean, this has been, it looked like they were having trouble putting the Blues away in those first 2 games, and then they just got steamrolled the next 2. So I think I'm
not looking so good.
You know what? Call me a prisoner of the moment, but I'm switching who I think's winning this series. Give me the Blues in 7 now.
I like it. You know what?
Let's go.
I'll ride with the Blues here. I'll ride with the Blues.
So I don't really follow much of hockey. So is the Avalanche out then?
No, they're in.
Oh, they're in.
Yeah,
okay.
There's 8 teams and each conference that makes it.
Oh, got it.
Or 16 teams.
It's
like I said, I don't follow much hockey.
They have a 7-game series like the NBA. So there's opposite from the Nuggets. We are losing the series 3-2.
No, we're winning our series 3-2.
No,
the Avs are
down. Which I really thought they were back in it, but they the last 2 games they really kind of slipped out of it. They won game 4, but
because they got just whoops in game 5.
It
And
really feels like they're letting the series slip out of their hands.
I mean, a choke jobs in games 2 and 3. No, absolutely no reason that they shouldn't have won those. Shouldn't let them go to OT, and then they choked it away in OT. So, I mean, the 2 wins have been dominating by a combined 4 goals, and then they got blown out here in game 5.
Roddy's listening tonight, or listening today.
Morning, Roddy. How you doing?
What's up, Roddy? We got game 6 is going to be on the the 1st of May. Here in Denver, home crowd's going to need to bring it.
Amber.
I mean, like, they should have realistically probably closed this thing out like 4-1 by now. Like, I can see them, like Dallas getting a game, but two choke jobs in game 2 and 3.
Slip.
Yeah. And until game 5, there had only been, until game 5 started and they got those first goals in the first 9 seconds of the game, the Avs had been leading for all but 1 minute and 2 seconds of this series. And it was tied 2-2. Like, that goes to show you, they just couldn't close out Dallas. And now they're kind of on the brink here. I don't know how I feel about their chances. I think they can force a game 7. But then you're going back to Dallas on their home ice, and they were playing like a team possessed here in game 5. Just going over some of the stats from that one. Pretty equal opportunities on the power play. Dallas was a lot better on the face-offs. They blocked a ton of shots. Not a ton. Avs were better with the takeaways, but couldn't generate anything off of that. And dude, this Jake Ottinger is this guy's a stud, bro.
Just cooking us.
He has had some improbable saves that still don't even make. I still can't quite wrap my head around some of these saves he's been making. He's been absolutely cooking us this series.
You've seen it. The main goals that we scored, we showed that one last week. The main goals we score are the insane ones.
Right.
If we get a regular shot set up, just a 1-2 punch, easy shot, he's gonna save it. We have to literally shoot a between the leg shot with one in the air, skating on one foot, balancing. That's the only way we can really score on this guy. He's insane.
Yep. And I think Mackenzie Blackwood up until this game had been playing really well. But now he is looking overwhelmed out there a little bit. I mean, he gave up 5 goals on 18 shots. Way to switch it up, go to Scott Woodwedge. Hey, you know what? I would say, yeah, maybe or Wedgwood rather, Scott Wedgwood. Mix it up, man. Leave Scott in there next game. Excuse me. And somebody's got to just make a play out there with McKinnon, man. He's been doing. He's like, people just need to get down there with him because he's like on these breakaways. Like, if he could just have another person skating down there with him, I think this would go a whole lot better.
Exactly. He has a lot of opportunities. He gets it. He gets his when he's out there. But it's like you're saying, just one more person to come down on a break with him. Get him a couple assists. Because he's really saving the team in this series.
Yeah. But game 5, this game was, like right from the start, you're like, oh boy, this is going to probably get ugly. Yeah. Within the first minute, 2 goals. And then, yeah, we shut them out the rest of the first period. Opening up period 2 with another goal, basically a minute and a half in. Then not even 2 minutes later, another goal. We finally get 2 on the board. Then Rantanen, he gets 1 in right before the intermission. Nico's been really good in this series. This game, he had a goal, 2 assists. Wyatt Johnston with 2 goals. Rope Hintz with a goal. Mason Marchand, he got a goal. Thomas Harley with a goal. I think it's stars and 7, unfortunately. The Avs just don't seem to want to put these games away. They want to let Dallas hang around. Unless they can come out and dominate game 6. We got to just I'm not feeling super confident. They should have. I feel like they should have won this series. I don't know. Or at least coming out of game 2 or 3, we should have won one of those.
Here we go. The comment from Kyle. Blackwood's doing fine. First 2 goals were fluke goals that never really happened. Other ones on power play or deflections as skaters turn the puck over a little bit.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
I feel like I get a little overreactionary when it comes to my team. So give me, thanks for the reality check.
We're going to the draft here soon.
Yeah. This has just been so frustrating. I think the Avs should have won this series already. But you know what? It's not over till the final whistle or horn sounds. So
no pun intended.
No, there is definitely a pun intended. You play on. All right, dude. We got another series that's blowing my mind. The Wild and the Vegas Knights are in a tight race here. Dude, Minnesota, shout out the Wild.
Going up 2-1 as the lower seed in this series. And that's 10-4 in those point spreads across those 2 games. Vegas pulling it back though in their last two. But this series has really been another one to shake up the Western Conference.
So we go to game 4. Big must-win game for the Golden Knights on the road here. They got it done. Credit to them.
They had to kind of scrape this one out though.
Overtime game. Man, this is what the second. This was it the first or the second game to go to OT in this series? There's been at least 2. I think there might have been 3.
I think this might be the second or third.
Right, but a lot of overtime between these 2 teams here. Vegas gets it done in OT, and they had to scrap back there on the third, going into it down 3-1, down 2-1. They give up a goal, but they score 2 in the third period, keep the game tied, go into OT, get the job done there. They had a lot of power play opportunities here, 5 in this one. And they were clearing on the face-offs. We go over to some of their top performers, though. Give me just a second.
This game, not a lot of penalty minutes.
No,
it was really surprising. 10 for Minnesota, 4 for Vegas. Clean game here.
Which is surprising because they definitely dropped the gloves more than once.
Yeah, this series has had a lot of fights, and I think that's where the Wild are kind of getting them, is because they're really just going and being the aggressor in this series. And when they got their home ice is where they really started to show. They were like, yeah, they're just coming in and trying to prove that they're the tougher team. I really like that strategy. It's making for a good series.
So this one, Vegas had to just put on an onslaught. 4 goals, man, and none of them coming easy. Felipe Gustavsson, 46 shots on goal in this game, man. He saved 42 of them. So this one, I can't even really put this on him, man. I mean, you were under fire in this one, like under siege. Your defense got to step up and do you some favors here.
Yeah, 42 shots. I mean,
46 shots on goal. That's just insane.
Yeah, 46 shots, Adam. Only allowing 4. I mean, your offense has got to keep you in that game too there. I mean, they tried their best, though. They had a lead. That's those defensemen of the Wild there in that game.
Tomas Hertl, I like some of his action in this one. He had a goal and an assist in this game. He was doing a really good job keeping the pressure on there. Then it was Ivan Barbashev with that goal at the end of overtime to win the game. I thought he played really well in this one as well. And then we got to go to game 5. This ended last night. The Wild, they should have had this one, though. They should have.
This is one that really they let go.
They should have won this game 3-2. They scored late in the third period, and they got called back because of an offsides call. They got that goal wiped away. And then this game ends up going to overtime again, and they lose it in OT.
because it's
Again.
garbage.
I'm telling you, it was garbage, man. They should have had this one.
It was.
And it was a good call. Like you watched the replay, it was pretty clearly offside.
It was offsides. But that's just not the way you want to lose a game.
Wiped
like
away
that.
a Ryan Hartman goal late in the game. That's another good game out of Boldy here. And Gustavo, not as good in this one. He ended up actually getting pulled after going 23 or 25 on save attempts. They went to Fleury there late in the game, and then he ended up getting scored on late in that game. And which, again, I really think Gustafsson should have stayed in the game. He was not playing bad by any stretch. I think like more on your defense than the goalie. Ease up, like take some pressure off of this guy.
This has definitely been probably my favorite series, though, with just how these two teams are really playing.
This one's been really, yeah.
This has been my favorite. Minnesota's just playing their brand of hockey. Like the one Avs game I did go to this year was against the Wild. They beat us in that one 3-2, but they had more shot attempts. It felt like they were way more aggressive on defense, and they just attacked the puck wherever it really ended up being. Like whoever had it, they just had more hits that game. It felt like they were the only ones that really came to play. And like that's just their style. They come out really aggressive and they want to take a lot of shots. This one here, only 22 though. And in the last game they had, I think Vegas had like 14 more shot attempts in game 4 than Minnesota.
I'll tell you, this Wild and the Wild Golden Knights series has been really good, but this LA Edmonton series might be my favorite.
Another 3-2.
It's been real good. Some stacked teams on both sides here. And some high scoring games. We've seen 6-5 games, 7-4, 4-3. Like the offense
it's there.
It's firing in all cylinders. And it looked like the Kings might, we're going to probably take this series. They get 2 wins to open it up. And then Edmonton has rattled off three straight wins, including a game 4 overtime thriller. 4-3 victory there. And the Stanley Cup runners up from last year looking to close it out on the 5th at home. I think they can do this. I think I'm giving Edmonton in 6. They're
on a heater.
They're starting to click. Like LA's been playing them really well, but like Edmonton looks like they've just got it figured out. Like, looked like they were a little unsure of themselves this first 2 games of the series. Hadn't quite gotten back into the flow of the playoffs. These last 2 games, I mean, they're playing high-level hockey.
Yeah, they found their spot. They found their stride. They're playing some pretty good hockey the last 3 games.
And this game 4, Beauchard with 2 goals here. Honestly, it hasn't even been like the craziest series for McDavid. Like he's usually picking up assists. Didn't have a goal in this game, but he had 2 assists in this one. Draisaitl, 1 goal, 3 assists. So the Stars of Edmonton still finding ways to, still finding ways to make a difference here in this one. On the LA side, man, Darcy Kempor got just assaulted this game. 48 shots on goal in this one. Like Edmonton just was all over the LA on offense. Like they kind of overwhelmed their defense on this one. And despite that, they did only give up 4 goals. So props to LA. It was a very bend but don't break approach in this one.
Yeah, they were just on an offensive siege.
But we get to game 5. Not as good offensively here from the Kings, losing this one 3-1. And they're pushed to the brink, and now they got to go on the road to stave off elimination. It's not looking good. I feel like they've kind of progressively gotten worse as the series has gone on, while Edmonton's progressively gotten better. So that doesn't really bode well.
Yeah, that's not something you want to see. Game 6, that's tomorrow, right? Or in 2 days. That is the first.
It's tomorrow.
The Game 6 tomorrow. Who's home for this one? Because I really feel like
that's Edmonton.
Oh yeah, I got him. I'm going with the Oilers here in 6.
Right.
I had them picked last year to make the comeback against the Panthers. I gotta still ride with them. They're a solid team.
Nugent Hopkins with the goal. Evander Kane with the goal. Mattis Janmark with the goal in this one as well. And then they, again, just assaulting Darcy Kempor, who held up pretty well for the most part. Honestly, only gave up 2 goals. The last one came on an empty net. Los Angeles had to make something happen. And yeah, just a real quiet night out of the Kings in general. They were scrapping. It looked like they were kind of hanging in there. Scoreless first period, tied at the end of the second, and the third, Edmonton gets that late goal, and LA could just never really find a way to rally, come back there. All right,
it's a killer.
Moving on, going a little quicker here, just as we're hitting some time constraints.
These series aren't as close, right. So it'll be a little quicker. This Senators Maple Leafs series kind of got a little interesting because the Senators just won the most recent game 4-0, I believe.
Right. So we got a
little 2-game run.
So yeah, 3-2 all of a sudden here. And you're like, looked like the Maple Leafs were
just
getting ready to sweep here. The Senators showing some signs of life. And this series has been fantastic here in the East. 3 straight overtime games before the Senators got a 4-0 victory. Excuse me. Over the Maple Leafs on the road, no less. Now they're coming home tomorrow with a shot to even this series back up.
Take it to Game 7.
Kind of like that. I mean, maybe that's just me rooting for the underdog, But I like their odds of that potentially happening. I like the Senators. They're playing really good in these. They're just fast. They're on the attack. They're playing loose.
Yeah, they're not really.
They're not overthinking it a lot. Like they're just going out there and playing hockey. And that's all you can ask. Game 4, David Perron, Shane Pinto, Tim Stools, and Jake Saunderson all getting a goal in there. Their goalie, Ullmark, held up pretty well. 34 attempts, only gave up 3 goals. Much better than Stolazar, who 4 on 21 shot attempts. Then we go over here to Game 5, where they pitched the shutout. They just, from the get-go, Toronto looked pretty shell-shocked. Scoreless first period, so defense was holding up there. And as this game progressed, you could just feel the energy in that building and Maple Leaf Square get more and more.
It just got drowned
tense. And they just said they didn't know what was happening. Brady Tkachuk, I think he was fantastic in this game. Only 1 goal, but he had 5 shots, just putting incredible pressure on the goal there. Ullmark, perfect game, 29 shots on goals, 0 goals allowed. Fantastic from him there. Tim Stools picking up another goal in this one. Dylan Cozens gets a goal in this game as well. And Stolarz, and they're not getting a ton of shots on goal on him, and he's giving them up. 17 shots, gave up 2, and then forced the the Maple Leafs to go to an empty net, and they had 2 goals scored on them that way. Moving on here, Lightning have been playing the Panthers tough, but the story of this is that they just can't close it out.
Yeah, they're not able to really get one. Game 3 was a beatdown, 5-1, and they haven't really been able to do too much since.
Outside of that,
4-2 in Game 4. Got Game 5 coming up tonight, and I'm pretty sure the Panthers are back at home to close out the series here.
Right.
So,
or not Toronto. Tampa Bay is kind of at the brink here, and looking like the Panthers are going to close them out here. The Devils, man, we were rooting for y'all. What happened?
That final game was a double overtime finish,
Double
5-4.
OT.
They tried their dangest to get another game in this series.
This one a little bit, yeah. Nearly pulled it off.
Carolina's looking pretty solid though.
Yeah,
coming out of this series. This was a
Carolina
2-3 series.
Pretty scary.
The 2-3 matchup, and they kind of commandingly, like 4-1, 3-1, 5-2. Like all their games that they won, excluding this Game 5 double overtime, was.
I mean, like you can expect that one to be closer. You've got a team facing elimination. They're going to play their best. New Jersey did their goalie no favors. This man had to try to block 54 shots on goal. Poor guy, rip.
54 shots.
Yeah.
That's a long night at work.
They only give up 5 out of that. Honestly, isn't.
Yeah, he still did his thing.
Yeah,
I'll give it to him.
Sevchenko, he picked up a goal. Aho, he had 2 goals and an assist in this one. Jackson Blake picking up a goal. Tyler Hall with the goal. Whole team just looking really good here. The Devils will be moving on though, and they await the winner of the Capitals and the Canadians. I think we're going to have the Capitals here pretty soon, looking to just close it off here against the Canadians.
Which will probably be a really tough series for the Hurricanes.
Real
proving series for this.
Game 1 overtime victory. The great Alexander Ovechkin scoring the goal there. And then since then, it just hasn't really been too competitive.
No.
Game 3, Canadians got a 6-3 victory. But besides that, they've been kind of blanked by the Capitals. Losing 3-1, then they lost Game 4, 5-2. Game 5, that's tonight. It's at home for Washington. I expect them to close that out. Another gentleman's sweep here in the first round. Close it on out and off to host the Hurricanes in round 2. All right, that's going to do it for our NHL coverage of the first round. Don't go anywhere, though. We got NBA first round action to break down. A couple of series wrapping up and coming to a close. And the NFL draft is come and gone. How'd your favorite team do? We've got draft grades and our favorite picks and breakdowns of all the draft classes coming up here on Till the Final Whistle, presented by Military Broadcast Radio. We'll be right back.
Staring out this hotel window, many floors above. What's missing down there is love. Thinking through the smoke that fills my mind. Don't worry, it's not my first time. Adios, amigo. I'm so glad I seen you. I won't be seeing you around. Adios, amigo. I've been looking for you since I stepped foot in this town. just one try. Tell me you don't like it. Be God for a moment and don't despise it. Adios, amigo. I'm so glad I seen you. I won't be seeing you around. Adios, amigo. I've been looking for you since I stepped foot in this town. Step outside and breathe. Play a little in the street. Hope it's not me they're sending. Move on from over there. Give the kids a little scare. Oh, these fences, they need mending. Adios, amigo. I'm so glad I seen you. Seeing you around. Adios, amigo. I've been looking for you since I stepped foot in this town. Adios, amigo. So glad I seen you. I won't be seeing you around. Adios, amigo.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.com.
You are looking live at Till the Final Whistle. HG Caveman, H Train back in the house. I want to give a quick shout out to that song. I just realized at the very end they got a new music video for it.
Oh yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
That's a new music video, right? Right.
Yeah, that's one of them.
That's pretty.
We
cool.
got several coming.
We've had that song on. It's just it was a different video before. I never realized until the very end.
Yeah, we've
cool.
got several coming on. We just haven't loaded. We've got about 65 videos still to load.
Nice. Yeah. Good
No
selection.
veteran artists,
everybody.
send them our way. We'll try to get their music spotlighted on the show.
Well,
all right.
Get into the NBA playoffs. We're starting on the East because we've got more matchups that are kind of already decided here.
Yeah.
Let's start with Cleveland and Miami.
Because it's garbage.
And
Why not? One of our first sweeps
sweep
of the year.
This was
of
sweep.
the playoffs. Kind of saw this coming. A Heat team that I didn't even think they were going to make it into the play-in or make it through the play-in. Truthfully,
no.
The closest game was their game 2 121-112 loss. The Cavaliers just dominated them. Cleveland has put together a incredible roster from top to bottom. They've got a great bench unit. They've got great depth. I'll tell you what, a couple of guys that have been a little inconsistent in this series for my liking that I think might be some issues for them. Just the nitpick here, Max Strus, Sam Merrill haven't exactly everything I've seen from those guys.
They gotta
Garland's
start hitting. They gotta start hitting their shots.
Darius Garland's a little banged up, so when he comes back, I mean, it'll really just be more for the most part Strus. DeAndre Hunter, love the trade for him coming off the bench. He's such a weapon for them now.
He's
off
good,
the bench
man.
there as well.
He's good.
Dean Wade's been pretty good for him. He just adds a lot defensively and rebounding wise. Mobley, our defensive player of the year, well deserved. Jared Allen, also such an underrated defender. I mean, you look at this game and they just ran away in game 4 to close it out. A 55-point win to close out the series. Miami has a ton of issues, a ton of holes to fill.
We didn't realize it till they lost Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, that he was
They have
maybe holding up
they need.
a lot more than what that team they were actually worth, I think.
Because they lost their guy when he went to Golden State, and it really hurt their roster.
I mean, you're Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero as your big 2 stars that carry you all the way. It ain't happening. I'm sorry to say, it ain't happening.
Bucks, Pacers. I was the first guy to say. I was saying it all night last night. I went to the gym and played some basketball with my friends last night, my boys, and I was the whole time we were checking up on the game. Every once in a while, I'm like, Bucks in 7. Come on. And they had a 6-point lead in the final minutes of this game and just choked it. Choked it. Andrew Nembhard comes down and splashes a running 3. And then they miss a shot. And then Tyrese Halliburton comes down. And of course, Giannis kind of got cooked by him. But he goes and gets an and one layup, pretty much game winning. And then Gary Trent turns the ball over out of bounds. And that just seals it. That was it. That choked the 3 possessions in a row.
Dude, Gary Trent was playing really well this game. He had 33 points, but his turnovers late, killer. I mean, I think they kind of cost him the game, cost them the season. Giannis, gotta give him credit. He did all he could, man. A 30, 20, 13 triple-double, 2 steals, 2 blocks as well. He was pretty efficient too, 9 of 17. Even a hit of 3 was 1 of 2 from deep, 11 of 17 at the line. You know, for him, that's
improved. That's major.
That's big improvement. They choked it away. They really did. Halliburton, get a lot of credit to him. That was a big time shot. He got voted the most overrated player in the NBA by like that anonymous poll The Athletic does. I think that's bullcrap, man.
I do. He's turned it around. He had a slow start to the year, and I'm going to say it just like everybody else did.
If Jokic wasn't in the league, he would be getting a lot more attention for his playmaking, his
That's very
passing
true.
ability. Like he is, but I think he's still behind Nikola, but he is the second best playmaker in the whole NBA, the second best passer.
I think that's really what landed them his spot in Indiana. It made them take a chance on him, and it really turned out for the better for him because they've been able to build around him.
He's been able to turn it on and score, but his playmaking can really enable some of these guys: Nesmith, Nembhard, Turner, Siakam. It can really I think it elevates how those guys play to where they're they would probably be, low end starters around other guys in another system. But with Rick Carlisle and Tyrese Halliburton and how they run that offense, it really elevates a lot of that. Probably not Siakam in turn, but Nembhard, Nesmith. I think Hallie and Carlisle are really bringing the best out of them there.
Yeah. Nembhard, after last season's playoffs, I had him high hopes to be a 6th man of the year candidate. He just turned it around and said, no, I'm going to be playing 35 plus minutes a game all year and nearly played 40 minutes in the playoffs. So he's just a starter on the team now. I really like the offense with Halliburton. They're turning some guys.
So Pacers have ended the Bucks season 2 years in a row now. Now the question, and we'll leave this. We came and discussed this a little off camera, but Giannis, is he still in Milwaukee?
Is he gone?
I think he asks for a trade. Where do you think he goes? We said Pacers, oddly enough, or the Pistons. The Thunder, another team with a ton of depth and capital to trade for him. That's where you're like, to get Giannis, you're gonna have to give up a king's ransom, and like teams that are going to be able to do that, and it not negatively impact them where they then don't have a whole lot to put around him.
And I really don't think he's going to go to the West either.
Houston
definitely.
Rockets could potentially get him. Let us know your thoughts. Does Giannis stay? Where does he go? Damian Lillard, does he retire? Like, what's happening here, man?
Yeah, that's a really tough way.
That really bums me out, man. He stayed in Portland for so long, trying to win the championship the right way. And by the time he's tried to start ring chasing, it was just
the
it was too late.
Problems really
injury problems got to him, man.
It's unfortunate.
He gave Portland so much of his career, and he tried so hard to take him to a finals and win him a finals, and he just was never able to get it done. Sad to see, man. It's really sad to see.
Very sad to see.
Another series. I got to give the Magic credit. They got gentlemen swept, but they played Boston
pretty good.
They
played some pretty good
competitively outside of game 1 and game 5. In the middle there,
game 2, I feel like they should have won.
Yeah.
They were up the entire
they
first
should have won.
half.
Tatum was hurt there too. That was a prime opportunity for them to steal one and make this series interesting. Then they kind of choked out, and that was like, all right, I don't think they're winning this. Their big problem, they really just need a better front court, and to really just let Paolo and Franz be able to play that more traditional, not saying like exclusively play the traditional 3 and 4 role, but they're just give them more opportunities to do that, because when they're able to play as a 3 and as a 4, they're so good. But Corey Joseph, KCP, those guys just aren't the answer. I'm also kind of on the fence about Wendell Carter. I think he's a really good defender, but he just has so many deficiencies on offense that
he can clean the glass up pretty well. It's just his scoring. I feel like sometimes they did need that in this series for him to kind of get some buckets for him.
I don't know. I don't know if they need to make major change-ups. They're defensively, they're really well. Can they just add some more versatility, shooting the 3, and just somebody that can run the offense from the point a little more effectively would be what they need. Celtics, not really surprised here.
Yeah, not surprised.
I think we had them winning this in 5 anyways. They did exactly that. Game 5 win, 120-89. They're on to the second round. Cleveland's got Indiana coming in for the second round here. Boston is waiting on the winner of the Knicks Pistons.
Which it should be swapped, man.
Been a controversial, crazy series.
Pistons should be up 3-2.
They really should. They choked game 1 so hard. Massive choke job in game 1 that gave up a 21-0 run. Did steal one on the road game 2. So honestly, they could be up. Like, we're thinking about it, they should be up 3-1. Or had already pulled off the sweep with a 4-1 here. Because we're in the game 5.
Yeah.
So you win that game 2. You don't choke in game 1. Steal 2 on the road. All right, the Knicks get one back on you in game 3. And then they got robbed in game 4. I don't care what anyone says. They got robbed there. That was a shooting foul any way you look at it. Tim Hardaway he's been like 85% on the season. He's been a little worse on the playoffs, 71% from the line. But that's 3 attempts. You're down 2. You're down 1. I mean, I can see him making 2 there. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
At least 1. I 71%. I think he's good for at least 1. So it's at least tied. Gives you a chance in overtime. So the league, NBA, they all admit that, oh, yeah, we missed that call. Probably should have been the foul there. And it's like, well, what is that? I hate when they do this. Like, yeah, we messed up. That should have been a foul. Like, what is that supposed to do for us now?
What does that do?
Right.
What is that?
Oh, so now like we just get to be like you're admitting that you effed up, but we're not going to change it. So like, oh, we just know that we lost on a bogus call.
It's good that they're taking accountability for it, I guess. But when you look into the games that happened after, there were still some bogus calls last night. And in last night's game, that the whistle was going towards the Knicks way more often than not. And it was really just the Pistons were trying anything that they can do to just stay away from get away from the calls.
In the Knicks defense in that game 4, Pistons again kind of choked a little bit of a lead away. Didn't really play that great in the fourth quarter. Let New York come back. It wasn't as big of a lead as game 1. And sure enough, came back to bite them. Triple-double for Cade Cunningham. He's looked really good though, man. Game 1 he was shaky, but ever since then, I mean, he's looked cool and collected. Cool as a cucumber, Cade has been. He's rebounding really well, playmaking. Has 4 block shots in this game, and 25 points. Again, Detroit, man, they should have had this one. And then they get the win last night. So really, they should have been looking at a 4-1 sweep. And then here we are in a 3-2 series. Game going back to Detroit, where they actually haven't won yet. They've won all of their games in New York. They haven't won a game at home yet.
That's insane.
Yeah. So that doesn't bode well for them. They might be looking at
they could lose this game tonight.
Here tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So that's got to make you feel a little nervous if you're a Pistons fan.
It's tough.
Just a flashback to game 5 a little bit here. I gotta say, like, they're doing some good things on Brunson though to like make him uncomfortable, even though he's scoring a decent amount. Then
I think they're doing a good job defending him though.
Yeah. They're throwing the right looks at him. Like, he's been scoring, but in like a super unethical way. This game, oh my God, it was atrocious, bro. He was 4 of 16 shooting. Got to the line 10 times, knocked down 7 of them. This was a defensive dogfight. This game's been getting chippy. I mean, this series has been chippy. Had a couple of, physical altercations throughout these games, pushing some shoving. This is kind of reminding me of this is making me think of like the Detroit, New York matchup in like the
like classic Knicks Pistons series.
Right.
This is awesome.
Late 80s, early 90s, man.
We're watching elbows and hard fouls. Like it's more of a rivalry now.
It does kind of feel like a rivalry renewed, right? Like these two teams they just seem to not like each other. And
it did stem from the regular season.
I'm all for it too.
The Pistons were getting ready to fight everybody towards the end of the year. They're the most scrappy
modern day bad boy Pistons here, bro. I think Tobias Harris has not done his signature choking in the playoffs yet. Maybe that's behind him. He's been super good for them here. And him defending Cat has been huge. For because they try to switch him on the Cat a lot, and he has not been backing down. Cat's still been pretty good. He was very ineffective this game, but other games he has been pretty good. But he's been really good just defending Cat and getting them a bucket when they need it, out of that mid range. Another 24, 8 and 8 from Cade, 9 block shots and 9 steals from the Pistons in here. Their defense, they're really playing off of that. They're using their defense to create offense. 10 block shots though here for the Knicks. So yeah,
defense.
Game 6 and game 7, if we need it, are going to be must watches. This has been an absolutely fire series. It's been chippy. It's been competitive. It's been a lot of fun to watch.
Whoever wins that series, though, is putting up a pretty good fight against the Celtics.
Yeah, the Celtics are going to
run for your money, Boston. Watch out.
Or they're going to get lucky, and some of these, one of the best players is going to get too hurt, and they're going to.
Yeah, it's going to be like
a cakewalk like last year.
Cade goes down in Game 7 and the Pistons, squeak out of the series still. They still end up winning the game somehow, even though Cade gets injured. They move on to the next round and just get swept by Boston. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's just erase that we'll cut that one from the podcast when we post it. So we'll just erase that from the internet.
Over onto the West, Grizzlies, man, just wrecked in Game 1 and 2, choked a huge lead in Game 3, and weren't able to get it done here at the end against the Thunder. Losing by 2 points, getting swept. And we come down to the end of this one. I'm just blanking on who took that final shot. It was Desmond Bain. Went 1 of 2 from the line. He had to miss the second one intentionally, and they just got out-rebounded. But they weren't able to get a shot at the strike because there was only 0.2. Good fight there at the end for the Grizzlies. I guess you showed some life after getting absolutely thumped the first two rounds. Scottie Pippen Jr. probably the best game of his career. Honestly, 30 points, 11 rebounds in the playoffs. It's 9 of 21, but he went 10 of 10 from the line. Ja Morant unavailable for this one. I don't know. I think it was a little dirty what Lou Dort did to him though in Game 3. That did not seem like a basketball motion. Like the fact that wasn't even like a foul or anything. He didn't clear his landing space.
Yeah, that at least should have been a foul. Yeah,
I don't know. That did seem a little dirty to me.
It did. Intentionally or not, in the moment, I agree with you. It did look a little bit dirty.
Shea locking in, Aura maxing, dropping 38 points to close out this one. I think his best game of the series.
Yeah, I mean, Game 1, they had that huge win, and he didn't really shoot all that great in that game at all.
Yeah, he hadn't been really doing a whole lot this series. He hadn't really needed to. He was good in Game 3, though. I'll give him his props in Game 3.
But I mean, that's what scares you the most as a Nuggets fan or any team in the West. Like,
well, I mean, we have to play them next. Like, if we win this. But yeah, 31 in Game 3 for Shea.
It's just tough. Their team's that deep. Shea can take a night off and just, if his shots aren't hitting, he can focus on facilitating the offense and letting other guys score. That first game, their lead broke off because of Lou Dort and Isaiah Hartenstein. Both had 14 points in the first quarter against Memphis in this series in Game 1. I mean, if those guys can keep doing that, does he really even need to score all that much in these upcoming games? I mean, we'll find out, but it really scares you.
And Rockets and Warriors this series.
Going to be, not really an upset if you think about it.
Yeah, it would be the least surprising 7 beats a 2 seed. This Golden State defense is just something else now that Jimmy Butler's in there, and they're just much more capable offensively. Like they've got the speed to just kind of counter that athleticism here. Dude, Sengun, he's got to just be more aggressive, trying to get inside and score. Like he's settling for like these floaters and these like hook shots but they're like, he's not really like trying to work inside. He's like taking long floaters and hooks or jumpers. He's 12 of 28 in this one. I don't like it. Like I think the Warriors,
he didn't start the game off good at all.
Right. The Warriors are running small for the most part, but like Quentin Post will be out there for like 20 minutes a game. But like for them, like you're gonna have like
that's why
Jimmy Butler or Draymond Green, like attack, bro. Like get in there.
He should be eating them up.
He really should.
Like 31 points, still had a good game. He just wasn't the most efficient. And he started this game off just not the greatest. It was really, I can really say that them coming back in this game was led by him. but the start of them being down a little bit in this game was because of Sengun. And it's their lack of half-court offense sometimes.
Jalen Green also getting hurt. Only playing 25 minutes in this game.
Yeah, he sat the last 5 minutes or so, which
Yeah,
you don't,
and he
you don't
just-
want to see that.
He looked like his lower body was bothering him there. Jimmy Butler leading the team, 27 points. Podziemski with 26, probably his best game of the season. Game 5 tonight back in Houston. Can the Rockets stay alive? I kind of don't think so. I think the Warriors going to take this, and it's going to be
Gentleman's
sweep. Warriors in 5. Another team that I think's going down in 5. The
Lakers.
Los Angeles Lakers. This might be LeBron James's final game
Potentially.
as a pro basketball player,
Potentially.
man.
Tonight, 8 p.m. Honestly, though, I think he could stay. I think he might stay.
The Lakers' need for a center is really hurting
It's
them.
showing right now too.
And this one, they've been
Gobert is cooking them up.
Yeah, even Rudy Gobert is cooking. I think LeBron's been great defensively in this series, but he just has not been nearly as aggressive or productive as I would want to see out of him as the number 2 option here for the Lakers. And then, yeah, the inconsistency of like Austin Reeves and Hachimura, and then just their lack of a center has been really killer.
There's nights, man. Hachimura will make every shot from the mid-range, and he'll really space the floor out to where you can have Luka and LeBron attack all they want.
Luka,
like if he can't hit.
He's dropping 38 points on pretty bad efficiency, 13 of 28, and Minnesota is just attacking him in the pick and roll and switching and going after him defensively. The Lakers just don't have an answer for that, man. Anthony Edwards was just cooking him in that regard there. 43 out of he has been so aggressive, getting to the rim, driving to the basket, just taking, and also shot 10 threes in this one. He was just all over the place, a force, and that nobody on LA really seemed to have an answer for here. I think we're going to see Minnesota and the Warriors next round. I think Minnesota potentially goes to 6 just because the Lakers are going to be on their home court facing elimination. Minnesota might not be able to take it on the road, and they might take it back home. But looking at a Warriors Rockets.
Yeah, I got Timberwolves taking this one. I do.
Yeah. And that's great for the Timberwolves. If it's the Warriors, they're so small. You are gonna have the Warriors are gonna need to figure something out. I just don't think that size disparity is gonna work. And they're gonna put Steph Curry in that action. They're gonna try to force him to guard Anthony Edwards. Like, what are you gonna do then? We will see.
If it's Timberwolves Warriors, man, which it most likely will be, it's my bet. I got the Timberwolves going Western Conference Finals back to back.
Dude, I see it. Yeah, I mean they seem to have a good path here.
Especially if the Lakers came into this playoff so highly regarded. I feel like everybody kind of wrote off the Timberwolves. But man, we really found out a lot about the Lakers right now.
Yeah, we did.
That my prediction when they got Luka is that it's going to be a long-term. This is long-term for them.
Oh yeah, it certainly wasn't a win now move.
Not a win now move. They started playing well towards the end. They went on a good run.
Roster's just not nearly complete.
It's not that time yet for them.
All right, whew. This series been terrible for my heart rate. Nuggets, Clippers, Game 4, wild roller coaster, man. Nuggets started dominating in the third, then they blew a 22-point lead in the fourth. Then they're down by 1. Then they tie the game up, and then Aaron Gordon gets the alley-oop on a total pass by Nikola Jokic. That was totally a pass, man. That was a pass. he was just being humble. Totally a pass by Jokic. AG throws it down to win the game. Joker with a 36, 21, and 8 there.
What a
Murray,
game.
not very aggressive in this one. I thought MPJ, he was pretty efficient, 4-7 from 3. Love to see that from him. I would like to see him be a little more active on the boards. Wasn't super active on this one. And just try to block some shots. But I liked Christian Brown. This is when he started to figure something out, guarding Harden. And, you know, he just is like, I don't think he's afraid to pick up fouls anymore. Like he's like, and I think the referees are kind of like aware of of Harden's crap now. And they're going to let him play.
I like it.
Like that. Zubac again was very good. Harden, 11 assists, only 15 points. So he found some other ways to get things working. Clippers bench was decent in this one. Nuggets bench, obviously, non-existent here. That's going to be a problem, but if they come out of this series going up against OKC, we'll see how they address that. That thrilling game this was. High again, the valleys and peaks here.
Yeah, it's a lot of ups and downs in this series, dude.
Had my heart racing. Last
Zubac
night,
is balling.
they took care of business in a more direct and
this was a good win here.
dominant fashion.
Murray showed up.
Yeah,
Murray
this is
showed up in this
the
one.
Jamal Murray we need. We need them to be aggressive and on the attack early, and we'll be in a good spot here. 43 points out of Jamal Murray. I mean, he was just on fire. It just felt like he couldn't miss.
And it's really what we need, honestly, because when he shows up, it is immense, and you see it on the box score. You see it when you watch the game. You see it with the rest of the team. But when he is not, when there's certain guys on the Nuggets that don't show up, it is a clear difference on how the entire team plays and how the game plays out.
And I think other guys start to play better when Murray's playing better too, man. And it just enables Jokic more than enables other guys. We're this kind of funny triple-double for Jokic, 13, 10, and 12 for him last night. I thought Aaron Gordon was great. So was Porter. He was a lot more. He was just willing to go up and meet some guys at the rim. He blocked Zubac one time. Gordon picked up some fouls blocking Zubac, but I like that they were just making the big man work for it. 23 out of Gordon, 14 out of Porter. 21 for Westbrook. He was on fire too early.
The Mario Kart item box, dude. You don't ever know what you're gonna get from.
He really is. He's a wild card. God, please, Ross, could you be a little more consistent in the playoffs?
I gotta get that.
Love it.
I gotta get that Russell Westbrook Nuggets jersey, man. I need it. That's one of my favorite players all the time, dude. Now he's on my favorite team. I
would love if we could get him a ring before he retires, man.
We're trying for you, Russ. We're trying.
We got your old team's kind of a doozy that we're gonna have to run into. See, this series ain't over by no means. Going back to LA for Game 6. Hopefully,
if Zubac plays the same, dude.
Yeah,
he wasn't really as much of a factor on the glass, but 27 points, 11 for 15, and 5 of his free throws knocked down. I mean,
right?
He's playing insane. And he's kind of holding Jokic a little bit. Like he's kind of stepping up in defense.
What we got, we kind of need to force. Well, I think that's what we sort of did last night. Is I feel like Zubac was getting forced into the role of a scorer. And
it did help us,
right? Like Kawhi and Harden just weren't taking that many shots. I mean, Kawhi did have 15 shots. But yeah, it felt like those guys weren't having that huge of an impact. Like they were looking to Bogdanovich and Norman Powell a bit more, Chris Dunn.
That's true. So when the Nuggets make 17 threes, go ahead and let Zubac take all these little 2-pointers under the basket. I see the strategy there.
We were absolutely on fire from 3. That was fantastic to watch. 17 made threes. We can somehow find a way to recreate that every game. Oh yeah, we should.
Yeah, we should be good.
Dude, we'll be cruising.
We'll be cruising through the playoffs.
Time will tell. I feel good about us potentially being able to close this thing out in 6. I think we can go on the road and get it done. I really do.
My hope is definitely back, but our guys they just got to show up. They just got to show up.
Yep.
Our guys got to be there.
I mean, that'll be the big thing. Is like can we replicate this, or are we gonna get all inconsistent again? And that's just where this team, when they're when these guys are on, they're hard to stop. They're really good. But then when they're off, oh my God. Sometimes you just close your eyes. You got to change the channel.
I think that's why we saw such a big disparity in the regular season when Jokic was on and off the floor, because people really were they were off to a slow start in the season. And we were seeing guys kind of just getting into the flow of the season really, really late. We just gotta lock it down here.
Yeah.
Just get out of this series, because there's a even bigger opponent coming up next.
All right, on to our NFL draft grades, man. It's come and gone.
Let's go.
Exciting time. A lot of teams have some exciting new prospects that they're looking forward to. Where do you want to start, Cade, man? You want to start with your Saints?
I think we should.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to spoil anything, but I think that might be HG and I's worst pick in the draft as a staple opinion right now for the two of us. If we didn't draft Tyler Shough, man, we had a good draft. I can't even lie. We got some good depth on the defensive line with that tackle from Texas. We also got a very good developmental safety that we can put underneath Reed.
I really
and Tyrann Mathieu.
I like that Jonas
with
Sanker pick a lot.
That's not bad. We got a guy with that Stutzman dude from Oklahoma. He could potentially be pretty solid behind Demario Davis for his last few seasons there. He can learn some things. There. I think we got some pretty solid picks here. And we got Devin Neal, who I think could be a pretty serviceable back.
So you ready to hear my grade for him?
What's your grade?
Give him a B-. My favorite pick, the Devin Neal pick. I think he could be one of the steals of the draft at running back there. I love his vision. He doesn't have the greatest burst, but he's a patient and smart runner. He's got great vision.
I got a couple.
He's pretty powerful. He's got good contact balance too. Very high floor guy that I think we can
work with that. With Alvin Kamara, we can
really
work with that.
Really potentially turn that backfield into a nice two-headed monster.
Well, let me show a couple clips of the vision here.
I'm not a huge fan of the Tyler Shough pick, but we'll get into that. You got to see the vision though on Devin Neal.
You got to see this. Because every other pick that we made here is pretty good. I got a clip. I got the video. The New Orleans Saints went to reposting Theo Ash videos on their TikTok page to try and get everybody to.
I think they're
picking straws.
They were paying him to do film breakdown of
their guys.
I
think they just paid. Yeah, they did pay promotion with the guy. And shout out the Saints. Shout out Theo Ash for reporting on us. But dude, we're running out of options here. We're trying to get people to like our team. Well, let's look at the clips here, because Devin Neal was a good back this season for Kansas.
Neal isn't the fastest running back of all time, but he makes up for it by knowing how to solve problems. There's a big opening here, but he understands he can't explode through the entire secondary. He's cognizant of the fact that this safety and his path will eventually intersect. So what does he do? He starts heading straight for that safety like he's going to bring some contact, and that forces the DB to break down and prepare to make a tackle. That stops his feet, and then Neal cuts away from him. And then he works off the block of his receiver to pick up even more yardage. I like this play a lot, where he reads the blockers in front of him and understands that this offensive lineman is not going to be able to reach this safety because there are people in his way. So he takes matters into his own hands. Cutting up the field, the safety falls back, anticipating that he'll get a big hit, but Neal predicted this, and as soon as the safety commits to the tackle, Neal puts his foot in the ground, takes his legs away from that safety, and then comes down running on the other side.
See, I feel like the offensive linemen and the tight ends that we picked up, I feel like Kellen Moore definitely has an idea in his head to kind of do similar things with Kamara and Devin Neal. I think he's just going to use both of them, those two minds in the backfield, because Kamara, same way. He's got the speed, and he also carries that vision. So I feel like both of them could work well with what we got going here. And our offensive line pick at 9, I think he's better. I think he's the best offensive lineman here in the draft.
I'm
not even going to lie.
Kelvin Banks.
This is my dude right
probably would have been the top tackle if he hadn't been hurt for a lot of 2020.
This is my dude right here. Man, shout out to Theo Ash again.
Absolute.
Let's check out these quick
Absolute
breakdowns.
stud, yeah.
Saints fans, congratulations. Kelvin Banks was the biggest, baddest offensive lineman in this draft. But he's also really smart. Look at how patient he is in pass protection here. He's going to wait and wait. The edge rusher tries a move, but it ends up just landing on air, and then Banks throws his punch. He's able to escort this guy up the arc. He's not a threat. 19 realizes that, tries to spin back inside, but Banks is able to redirect and stay in front of it. Here, Georgia runs a defensive line game. Jalen Walker is going to feign like he's rushing, and then he eases up. And as soon as he does, Banks gets his eyes to the looper and takes Mykel Williams away by knocking his punch down, resetting his hands, dropping his weight, anchoring down, and blotting him out. And then in the run game, this guy is shockingly good at connecting at the second level for how heavy he is. The first thing he does here is he gives a shove to the backside defensive end to push him behind the play. And then it's a very difficult assignment climbing to this backer. So there's a moment where it looks like he's almost overextended himself. And the backer is thinking, hey, I'm going to fall back and this stumbling oaf is going to fall forward. But that's not what happens. Banks is able to curve, hit that backer. The running back cuts back, and he's got a really clear picture behind Banks's block and turns this into a nice gain. And then this is a perfect combo block.
I think we got the best lineman in the draft. I feel like the vision with Tyler Shough is going to take some time for me to see. But I mean, we picked the tallest quarterback in the draft. I mean, I get it, right? We didn't really want to take a chance on the shorter guys, the guys with the, going through some personality issues in their interviews, or maybe guys that aren't really ranked up as high.
Can I give you my silver lining with Shough here? I think he has the potential to be a really good quarterback. Excuse me, in the NFL. He wants to get the ball out. He's been really accurate.
He's not bad.
Like, he doesn't hold on to a wall. He's got enough athleticism to make stuff happen when the play breaks down. It's just with his injury problems, the
fact that he's 26, this dude's Christian Ponder.
His age.
Get this guy out of here.
And he does get a little panicky under pressure sometimes and has had some really bad turnovers because of that. I wouldn't have hated. I think the pick would have been better if you didn't waste the 40th pick on it. There are other needs on your team where this just feels like you were for a guy that is I think he's a huge boomer bust type of project, and I don't hate a pick like that if you didn't use the 40th pick on it. That's where my issue is. I'm like, I could see Shough being good, but there's also a lot of things that do make me nervous about how he's going to turn out.
He would have been there
in the NFL.
He would have been there
right.
to be with our 7th round freaking
compensatory
pick. We could have got him with one of those freaking picks.
I just don't know.
Like, there
were a lot of good edge rushers and interior defensive linemen on the board, which you guys needed.
We could have
Vernon Broughton. He'll be all right. I think. I don't see him being that dynamic of a player. I just think you guys could have gotten yourself a real good edge, or
we could have exactly
defensive type of player. There.
Like Broughton, he's more going to be for depth in the interior,
or hell,
because
like another receiver or something like or a good tight end prospect.
That's where I really felt like we needed the tight end that we did get later in the 7th round. Another one that I really felt like we could have got something more. But with the final, I could have said way more. I could have went on a Jimmy Covers rant right there for 30 minutes about that draft, all because of one guy. But we'll see when the season starts. You know what? I'll get his jersey too. I'll get his jersey before the season starts. He probably isn't even going to play because we still have Derek Carr. So, but HG, the Broncos are kind of mixed.
My Broncos.
They're mixed in the picture because a lot of people don't really like that draft,
which is weird to me, man. I don't know. I'm a pretty big fan of it as a Broncos fan.
I think they had a pretty good draft. I think this offseason from the Broncos, Sean Payton is a freaking Mad Hatter trying to rebuild the 2013 Saints.
I gave us an A. I think Jahadae Barron was a great pick, best available player, which I like there. A guy that's got a nose for the football. And I mean, we're trying to, like a team that could beat the Chiefs and the Ravens, the Bills, that have really adopted this short passing game. A lot of they run a lot of screens and stuff. Barron's got a nose for sniffing out screens, so I think he could just be a real impact player for us. But my favorite pick actually is RJ Harvey, just because he is like I think a bigger version of Darren Sproles. The more I watch his tape, and I mean, you remember how good Darren Sproles was with Drew Brees, so.
Especially his rookie year. I was watching 104.3 actually. Darren Sproles' rookie year had 87 receptions and 87 carries. And it was about 1,200 all-purpose yards in his rookie season. So I'm expecting this guy to get the ball a lot this season. I'm expecting Bo Nix to have a good receiving threat out of the backfield. And runner.
And he's a guy that I think can still give you a good 15, 20 carries a game.
Because he has an explosive, home run ability almost.
He does. He's got great burst and acceleration and a good pass catching back. Yeah, I'm excited. I think he's very versatile. Our worst pick, I would say, is Pat Bryant. I wasn't ever very high on Bryant. I think he does all the receiver things well, but he's just not very dynamic one way or the other.
Where he's kind of just he would be very good as a number one wide receiver because he's just really big. Where if he could be on those X routes, where it would really be, you really get him 6'3", 200 pounds.
I kind of feel like there was probably some better receiver options available at the time, but I do hope I'm wrong with them. I really like the Savion Jones, Q Robinson picks. Some guys that, for the meantime, can come in and kind of be rotational depth pieces that we can, so we can maybe give some of our starting pass rushers a breather. But they're guys that I think could really develop into some nice and very talented defensive players. Robinson, a lot of people are saying he might be the steal of the draft. We took a punter in the 6th round, which I don't hate. Riley Dixon's not going to be around forever. So maybe there is something better available there, but what the heck, it's the 6th round. It's so hit or miss there. Punter, you're probably at least a little more guaranteed that guy can be successful and play for you.
Jeremy Crenshaw, though, he didn't really have that bad of a season. Florida probably punted the ball a lot.
Yeah,
he got some good.
Yeah, I mean, he
got
good.
PT.
Right, yeah, he looks pretty good. Then this is the most interesting pick: Caleb Lawner, tight end out of Utah.
Oh, this guy's
he's
crazy,
a basketball
dude.
player, bro. He's 6'7", 6'9".
He's 6'9". This guy's huge.
He, throughout college, his stats were, for football, 4 receptions, 54 yards, 4 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns.
Bro just gets touchdowns. Hey, I mean, I kind of see the vision. Just bring this dude in, if anything, as a decoy in the red zone.
Yeah.
I honestly am almost seeing Sean Payton. This guy is I think he's getting into his creative offensive play call bag, man. I think we're gonna
telling you, he's the
Yo,
coach
with
on the sideline with the freaking smirk on his face.
Harvey
and if it
out
works,
there, man, and all the things he can do. Marvin Mims is so versatile. You can line him up all over the place. Lawner, dude, Evan Ingram, the guy we can line up in the slot here. I think Jaleel McLaughlin, we still got him on the team. He's a guy that could be very that we could still do some interesting and exciting things with him here.
The Denver Saints, baby.
We kind of are,
Saints, man. I'm actually kind of liking it.
Hey, if we get a Super Bowl out of it, I will take it.
The Denver Saints.
We're gonna have an elite defense next year, though.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully, I know Dre Greenlaw got an injury thing that re-flared up during training, but it doesn't sound like it's that bad. That he should be good to go soon. So making me a little bit nervous, but I think we'll be all right. All right. Well, we got about 7 minutes left. Leave it open to some comments. We're not gonna have time to get to every team. Any requests on teams you want to give us to give a draft grade and evaluation to?
Yeah, drop some requests in the comments.
Any requests at all?
I mean, for now, we could head over to Jimmy's Packers. I think they had a pretty solid draft. Getting a first-round receiver.
Any comments on TikTok, H?
No, they kicked us off.
Dang.
Our agent is working on why they kicked us off.
Shout out to
friggin' TikTok, man. I don't know what we could have said or done, but all right. Well, there's no request. Yeah, Jimmy, we'll take a look at your Packers and what they did. Let's
got
see.
A first-round receiver
Packers.
with Matthew Golden.
I gave them a B draft grade. I think Matthew Golden was hands down their best pick. I didn't really like taking Savion Williams in the 3rd round after he'd already drafted Golden. You got a lot of depth there, especially if you're going to go with another receiver. Williams has wildly inconsistent hands.
And
Don't get me wrong.
Had a big drop problem all year.
Yeah, he's electric when he gets the ball in his hand, but he's looking to make a play too often. They lined him up in the Wildcat a lot at TCU. And like his vision and like his athleticism and explosiveness, yeah, a lot of possibility there with the ball in his hands. But I'm like, you already got you already took Matthew Golden. You've got Jalen Reed.
Maybe
You've got Christian Watson, I know, has been banged up a lot. Dontavian Wicks is still there. Who's the other guy I'm blanking on? We got Watson, Reed, Wicks. There's a 4th guy. Not Bo Melton. It's somebody else.
They got Dobbs.
Romeo Dobbs. There you go. Yeah.
Dobbs,
and now you've got
they have a lot of receivers.
Now you've got Golden, Savion Williams. Right. And like you took Belton, an interior lineman with the 2nd pick. I would have liked to see them maybe go for like the 2nd and 3rd pick secondary defensive line.
Yeah, they did
linebackers.
Have a lot of injury in that secondary.
Just your defense got really banged up last year. And then you got run all over in the playoffs. I would have liked to see the defensive line get beefed up a bit more. And then your Jair can't stay healthy. You might be trading him. I would have liked to see another corner or some sort of defensive back drafted there, but they didn't take a DB until the 7th round. So the Golden pick, I love that though, especially with Watson's struggles to stay healthy. And the other guys are all pretty dynamic, but they can be a little inconsistent and everything. So I think Golden, just another weapon there for Jordan Love, who could be in for a big season. But I'm not the Belton and Savion Williams picks. I'm not thrilled about. Behind that, Barron Sorrell, edge rusher, is not bad. The Colin Oliver pick is solid. A Georgia defensive lineman, you can't usually go wrong with those. 7th round cornerback, that's a flyer. Like that's, who knows what how that's going to go, but it's a 7th round pick. I like to take, just filling up, getting some depth out of the position of need. So all in all, solid draft. out of the Packers here.
I think the vision with Williams probably going to be to use him in that kick return.
That's true. A special team.
I think special teams
gadget play
is gonna
type of
be-
guy.
Yeah, because he really does have that explosiveness. 8 pass drops, but he was the best receiver in the class in contested catch rate.
Right.
So it does kind of make me feel like they are
like,
going to just
It's not like his hands are bad. He's
snake in the
just
barrel.
inconsistent. Like he'll shock you. Like and make some incredible catches, and then the next play, he'll come out and drop a wide open button hook, and you're like, what are we doing?
Easiest pass ever to catch. Be the ones that he does drop.
All right. Well, if you don't mind, can I give out one of my worst draft grades of the class before we?
What's your worst
roll?
draft grade, HG?
I think this might actually be my worst. I gave Houston a big old fat D.
Dang.
Because it's garbage.
It was garbage, bro. I get that you got. I don't mind taking Jaden Higgins. You trade out of round 1, which I did. I wasn't thrilled about. When you got rid of Tunsil, you need offensive line help. Josh Simmons, the guy that the Chiefs they gifted to the Chiefs, you give him to the Chiefs, which would have been great for Houston.
That would have been
round 2 pick. Okay, Higgins. I can see Diggs is gone. Tank Dell's dealing with the injury. You go Arice out of Minnesota. I like that pick. And then we go and take Jalen Noel with our 3rd pick. So another wide receiver. And it's like,
what?
Yo, what the number one issue, the reason you lost so many games last year, CJ Stroud was under siege. He took a big step back because you couldn't protect him. You couldn't keep him upright. And then you made your offensive line worse by trading away Laramie Tunsil. And they only took one offensive lineman
with the 48
with that whole pick. Like Woody Marks in the 6th. Don't like that at all. I mean, I don't think he's going to play a whole lot behind Wood Nixon. I don't think he was that good either.
Graham Mertz, do you really need that?
Yeah.
They really need Graham Mertz.
Jalen Smith, I mean, he's going to be a backup guy in your secondary. You got a good secondary already. They just went for like a bunch of flashy picks. I'm like, you had to build up your own line. You didn't address it in free agency all too well.
If they just pick like 2 offensive linemen with their higher picks, this would have been literally like a B draft grade. They would have had a pretty good draft.
Yeah. And instead it's a D. I think the worst draft any team had. I don't like it. I mean, Stroud's, I just can't see them being able to take another step. I think it's just going to be the same problems that they had last year.
Yeah.
So sorry, Texans fans. I don't know what your organization's doing. That's going to conclude our show today.
The show
ended it on a hate watch. I'm HG. We got Caveman, my co-host, H Train on the sound. Big thank you to everyone that tuned in today to Till the Final Whistle. We'll be back next week here on Military Broadcast Radio. Bye, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.